Since I was a little kid standing at my home spot, looking at the sea, I knew over there on the other side there's another country, and that country is Denmark. I always wondered what it would be like to one day just windsurf across to the other side, being out there in the ocean, no land in sight, and then finally arriving to your destination. How challenging this was, what we had to do to make it happen, and if we actually made it to the other side, you will see in this video. Have fun with We Windsurf from Germany to Denmark. Of course, everything starts with the planning, and for this one, everything had to align. Of course, you need the perfect forecast. You need a skipper, you need a boat for the skipper, you need the camera crew, and I also didn't want to do it all alone. So what I did is plenty of phone calls until I finally found someone who had a boat and a skipper ready. Ja, machen wir so. Okay, bis morgen, ich freue mich. Ciao. Woo! It's happening! We're going! 11 a.m. Meeting in Kiel and then off to Denmark. Sick, been waiting for this one. So we planned everything, charged the cameras up, and the next day we packed everything up and made our way to the beach. Test.
Ready to go.
What do we need? What do we have? Wetsuit is also a good question, huh? Shorty? Should be like 17, 18 degrees. Need my 7.8. Need my 9.0. I have it. Booms. Looking good. What else?
A board.
Yeah, for sure a board. That would make sense. Board of choice. Probably 85. When we arrived to the beach, it was actually quite a bit tricky because the forecast was for increasing winds and also more wind on the other side. So we weren't really sure what gear to pick. The wind was offshore, so we also couldn't really tell how much wind there was. What we really wanted to avoid is being fully overpowered for most part of the way, because that was going to become potentially dangerous and also very exhausting. So what we did is we opted actually for the smaller gear. The choice for a foil boat was pretty obvious. You just have so much more opportunities in terms of courses you can go. You know, if the wind changes, you can go higher upwind, deeper downwind. It's also more relaxed than hitting the chop with a fin. So there was it's never really a discussion to go with a fin. We have to, of course, introduce the big boy, the fastest German, the guy who went over 50 knots in Lüderitz.
52.3.
So it's gonna be a fast one today. Why did you decide to join on the trip here?
Because just for fun. Have a good time on the water. I'm a bit scared, I have to say. Everything can happen outside, but we have a boat.
Yeah.
So
I think the distance is not the big problem.
No.
The big danger is that we're far outside. Waves we don't know, conditions we don't know.
we have to decide for the right gear now. So it's also exciting.
But this is the thing, being overpowered is really bad, but being
Only
underpowered...
because it's half wind, so it's a bit more dangerous when you're overpowered.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you can go upwind or downwind, it's a bit more easier. But
Next choice is the sail choice. With this gear we felt that we were going to be on the safe side, maybe a little bit underpowered in the beginning, but overall we thought we were going to be fine. So once again we packed everything, we double checked every screw, we double checked every rope just to make sure nothing will break on the way, and then we headed out.
see, everybody's flying outside now, so the wind is coming. So should be around like 15-20 knots now in gust.
So,
See you in Denmark, huh?
see you in Denmark.
Let's go!
So the first few kilometers going out were pretty tricky. The wind was completely offshore and the front was just all the way covered. Something we kind of expected, but in the end it took us quite a long time to get actually to the point where we get some wind to get going.
We're slowly making our way out. Obviously, the wind is offshore, so we expect it to go slowly out until we catch the wind. It was to be expected, but yeah, it's quite exciting. Nope, not quite. Damn it! Well, if it keeps going like this, we might have to change to the bigger wing before we start the official timing. It's not looking good. It's coming. Gust is coming.
Found the starting mark. It's a little bit further outside than we wanted to, but it's just not windy inside. So we have to take this mark, and it's a fixed mark. So if we ever want to do it again and break our own records, we can do it. We're gonna take a starting time, 1 minute, and then we hit it for a flying start off to Denmark. Woo! Excited!
Let's go!
Das wird so hardcore, ey! Das wird so hardcore!
We're about 13 kilometers far out, and it's too gusty out here. Still not enough. Maybe now there's a feel of wind coming, but it's a tricky one.
You would expect that when you go out on the big wide ocean, well, in this case the Baltic Sea, but still, you know, bigger than a lake, and you would expect that the wind comes in steadily and you get solid wind out there. But turns out, even out on the sea, the wind is gusty, damn gusty. The wind just kept teasing us. It was literally so annoying, and it was really hard on our backs because we had a hard time keeping the board foiling, keeping the board up on the foil, and sometimes we would just completely drop down and the wind went probably below 7-8 knots, and there was just no chance for us to keep going.
Man, it's really frustrating. I thought it was gonna get more and more the more we go out, but there's nothing here. And Lars goes like, make a jump! I'm like barely on the foil.
So over and over again, we had to wait for the gust to get us going and then stop, either because we were in so much back pain or the wind would just drop to zero and we couldn't keep going. It got a bit boring out there. I gotta admit, at some point it got a bit boring. I mean, exhausting, but yeah, we were just waiting for wind. So what happened is, I went for a simple heli tag, and somehow with the swell out there, I fell down on the board, knee first, and I just made a massive hole in my board. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to go still all the way to Denmark and back with this hole in my board.
Da kann man nichts mehr zu sagen, ey. But I think it's nothing to worry about for now. But
So we can go on.
it's gonna suck some water for sure. But there's a gust, so we need to go.
Strong gust coming.
We have to go. And the boat can't keep up with us.
Another challenge was to arrive in Denmark in the right place. We had opted for the more easterly island and go to the town of Bergenkoop. Excuse my pronunciation to all the Danish guys out there. There would have been another option because the wind was supposed to shift around and the forecast said that at some point the wind might turn more northerly. And because we were indecisive and we couldn't exactly figure out the exact way, even though the skipper helped us out with the phone, we kind of ended up right in between the two islands.
Change of plans. Going too easy. We decided to go to Copenhagen. No, but on a serious note, we have to go a bit more upwind so we can be sure to get back. The wind direction is changing and it's supposed to be more northerly. It would have helped us to arrive to Bangkok, but it was more westerly. So now we gotta make a strategic decision to go to Ærø, which is the other island. So it's gonna be a bit safer on the way back. And this buoy probably marks Danish territory.
And the decision we made was a little bit tactical because we had in mind that we still have to make our way back. So we thought about what would be the most comfortable way to get back and to make sure we don't have to fight our way back upwind while going back to Germany. So in the end, we made the decision to work ourselves upwind to the island of Ærø so that on the way back we could comfortably go back on a reach. And at some point the land came closer, and that was actually a really nice feeling because we had just lost sight of the German side, and we were kind of in the middle of this big sea and we couldn't see anything. So once we came closer, yeah, actually the wind picked up and that really helped us out a lot.
This is the wind we needed. Now we start to be happy about our gear choice.
Of course, to make it all official, we had to step foot on Danish land, so we did. We went to the beach.
Made it!
Denmark! Here we are! Whoa!
A bit rocky here.
There was a road right behind, so we walked over to the road.
We found an amazing flat water spot here. Look at that. Wind coming down the hill.
Said hi to the Danish locals, came back to the water, and of course took a short break, drank some water, and
Before we go back to Kiel, I'm gonna take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Spigen.
Throughout the video you have seen me using different variants of waterproof cases. Spigen has just launched the summer package with a new AquaShield lineup. It was actually a perfect test for the AquaShield waterproof phone pouch, waterproof waist bag and the dry bag. The AquaShield bags were safe and easy to open and close, fit all of our items, even the walkie-talkies, and most importantly were entirely waterproof for the whole trip. All in all, great tools for our trip. Lars could keep the camera gear dry, I was able to GPS log the trip with my phone and even had space for a snack. Spigen and I will randomly choose one subscriber to win a full set with a phone pouch, waist bag and dry bag. So leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel to get a chance to win. So big thank you to Spigen to support this amazing adventure. If you want to check these items out, be sure to go over to the website, the link is in the description. And now let's head back to Prien.
I slept 2 hours, so for me it was a hard challenge. 0 to 22 knots probably. So yeah, from hardcore pumping, upwind to going downwind in almost 0 wind was really physical and mental wise super hard.
And then when we started the way back, it was like proper 20 knots, fully powered up, big waves.
Yeah, big waves, yeah.
That was when Lars lost his drone.
Yeah.
So this guy was sitting on the boat with his FPV goggles, and I have to say, the guys on the boat probably had a harder time than we had on the foil, because we can smoothen out the waves. But if you see how the boat was moving over those waves, and especially on the way back, the wind picked up, the waves became bigger, they had a hard time catching up with us, and the guys were flying around on the boat. Bam! Bam! I saw the boat in the air several times, and Lars sitting there with his FPV goggles trying to follow us with the drone, and actually I think at some point he lost the drone. He couldn't get it back to the boat in time, and yeah, that's why we don't have drone footage. And yeah, we slowly made our way back. The wind did become a little bit less towards the German side. It was definitely more windy over in Denmark. The waves were challenging, but I think it was good that we had a bit of a challenge. After about 110 kilometers, we made our way back to Germany. We saw the lighthouse, we saw where we came from. The last reach on the way back was a tough one. Light wind coming into the bay. Just entering the keel bay. Obviously wind is getting light again, and that was pretty hard on the back, obviously.
It was good, feels like an accomplishment. And especially because it was difficult, it makes it feel more like an accomplishment. Because I'm thinking about, okay, how would it have been if we had just, it would have been easy. Straight way there, straight way back, 40 kilometers each way, perfect wind. It would have not been so hard.
Yeah. Like this, it was really a competition a little bit.
Against ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah, and it was super hard. So normally when I go sailing like 150 kilometer on the Flensburg fjord, it's super easy, huh? So you sail like 4 hours, so have no muzzle problems or whatever. So this was really hard.
Are you happy that you did this trip?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's it.
Nehmen wir so.
Okay, ciao.
Bye. Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm happy. Yeah.
This was one of the best trips I ever did on my windsurfing gear. Please let me know in the comments, where should I go next? Should we cross maybe from Tarifa to Africa? I don't know if that's allowed, by the way, because you're going to a different continent. Anyways, let us know in the comments. We read all of your comments, and make sure to subscribe if you're new here. And I would say, if you subscribe, I see you guys in the next video. Ciao.
Was it hard for you on the boat?
Yes.
Probably harder than for us on the foil.
Yes. That's too fast for us.
Ui. And you?
That was hard.
You're flying around
Always-
on the boat?
Yeah, I was flying around multiple times, hanging there with camera in one hand, holding with the other, or stabilizing with both hands, and the boat is doing bam, bam, bam. was really hard, but fun.
Machine.
We had a great time.
Yes.